but I was like most of you guys, I was a customer for about the first 6 to 9 months. And like so many of you, Jason Diebold, who's my coach and probably the most gifted coach, you should really have Jason on one of your calls, the most gifted coach when it comes to volume and rank and where I learned everything from. He basically came to me after 2 rounds of P90X, where I had lost about 80 pounds, and basically said, okay, man, how many people have asked you about how you did this? And I said, quite a few. I've sent them all to you. And he's like, why you keep doing that? Why don't you quit being dumb and become a Beachbody coach? So that's kind of how I became a coach. Long story short, my journey began back in 2008, as I mentioned, but it began on a bet. We were sitting around northern Michigan. For those of you that are in Michigan or know Michigan, we have this real awesome place up north called Mackinac Island. We're sitting in a campground. This is before I ever done a Beachbody video. We're sitting around a campground, drinking beer and eating s'mores, talking about how we're going to get in shape for next spring for this vacation we were taking in Mexico. We're sitting around with friends, and we came up with this bet. The bet was whoever got in the best shape over the next 6 months got all their alcohol paid for when they got to Cancun. Seems like a pretty cool bet, right? And I'm a very competitive person. So I knew who I was going to reach out to. I got back from that weekend's vacation, contacted Jason Diebold, an old high school friend of mine, actually a childhood friend of mine. I've known Jason since I was, 5 years old in kindergarten, and got a hold of him. And I said, dude, I see you on Facebook all the time with your shirt off, ripped. How did you do that? I know what this P90X is, but what is that? And he told me his story, and I said, I want to do P90X. And he said, no, you're going to die if you do P90X. I've seen your pictures. So I was a little overweight at the time. He put me through Power 90. And then 90 days later, I done P90X. In 6 months to the date, 180 days, I had lost 78 pounds, was in the best shape of my life, got to Cancun, and didn't collect my bet because I didn't want to overindulge. I didn't want the alcohol. I had counted on winning the bet, but what I didn't count on was the mentality change, the fitness in my head that was going to happen. And it's been a lifestyle ever since. Got back from that vacation, joined as a coach in April of 2009, and so many wonderful things have come from that day. As many of you guys, you have probably some of the closest relationships you have because of this company. Not only a fit body, but a fit mind. A lot of us are still in progress. I'm always a work in progress because it's a lifestyle for me. But shifting to what our topic is tonight, the business, Jason taught me early on, that the comp plan is very important. Now, how many of you guys, by a show of hands, I know you're all on mute right now, so I'm going to ask you guys by a show of hands. I got my screen up. I can see most people. But how many of you guys, by a show of hands, have actually taken the time and read the comp plan? I'm seeing like 3 hands. Everybody else says, no way, that thing's like War and Peace. I'm not reading that. Guys, you need to read it. I'm not saying that it is pertinent in every possible way, but when it comes to how we're paid, how they're going to give us money for doing what we do, don't you think it's smart to kind of have an idea of how to maximize what you're doing every single day? The comp plan is so important. And I know for so many of you now, everything's electronic, and you don't want to do it. So do me a favor. Pull it up on your phone when you're sitting down and read it a little bit at a time. And the best place that you're going to read it in? The best place you're going to read it in is the bathroom. Take your phone with you, pull it up, and read a little bit each day, because you will find so many eye-opening moments and so many lights are going to go on in your head. This is what I did. I understood how they were paying us, why they were paying us, how a cycle bonus worked, why we wanted to get to 2-star and 5-star and 10-star, and what the bonuses were. Guys, read the comp plan. Why would you become a coach and sit on these calls every night wanting to build your business and not understand how you're paid? It's important to understand that. When you guys get hired in your day jobs and they put a contract in front of you, I guarantee you guys are going to read that, right? Because you don't want to be stuck in a job forever. Read the comp plan. It's very important, and it's something that I'm going to help simplify a little bit tonight, but it's not an excuse for not understanding everything that's in there. So what I wanted to touch base on tonight, what I told Patrick in the messages that he wanted me to talk about, is what Jason and I have been pulled around the country to speak at. Now, unfortunately, the one place that they haven't had us speak is probably the most important place, and they're never going to put us there, and that's at Coach Summit. The reason that Jason and I aren't going to be on stage teaching you guys the best way to work the comp plan is because they don't want everybody to understand how to earn the most money, right? If we're put up on stage and teach you guys how to become 5-star quick or 10-star and how to start earning $1,000 a week, the network might go away. So they're not going to do that. They're going to show you guys how to sell Shakeology and how to, run a challenge group. And that's fine. I understand it. We have spoken at some of our leadership events. I'm not sure Patrick or Andrea or any of you guys remember us speaking at leadership before, but we've done that, which is a better crowd for that. But I get it. I would love to speak at Summit sometime, but as long as I continue to excel in this topic, and Jason, I'm not sure that's going to happen. So tonight's topic is really about volume and rank. Okay, volume and rank are very important, and they go together. So many people chase 15-star diamond, and when they get there or they get close to it, they wonder why they're not making the amount of money that they pictured in their head, right? And then I have other coaches who listen to us and get to 2 to 3-star diamond and are making twice as much as an 11-star diamond because we teach them how to do that effectively. Volume and rank. How many of you guys, by a show of hand, understand that the volume you make at any given rank allows you to make so much money? Okay, so if you're a 2-star diamond, and I got the group chat up. So let's say you're a 5-star diamond. Okay, let's say you're a 5-star diamond. By a little quiz here, how much money can you max out at 5-star diamond in your bonuses? Anybody know? Waiting for someone to type it in. Not seeing anybody. Boom. Peter hit it. It's $7,000. The way that Peter hit it, 7,000. It's not 4,000. It's not 6. As a 5-star diamond, you are allowed to make $7,000. So the best way that I remember it is, let's go down to diamond. Diamond plus 2K. Diamond plus 2K. That's how you remember the comp plan. If you're a diamond, you add 2K, that's your cap, $2,000. If you're a 1-star, you add 2K. That is $3,000. So it always goes up in increments of 2K as your max. So if you're a 5-star diamond coach, you can make up to $7,000. So now I'm going to try to trip you up. You're going to think it's easy, but now you're going to, because I said that, you're going to think about it. How much can you make at 10-star diamond?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Patrick says $10,000, which is incorrect. 12K. That is correct. How much can you make at 11-star diamond? All right, the last two people, nope. It's not 13K, guys. It is, the answer is 12K. When you get to 10-star diamond, you have capped the plan. Okay, the comp plan quits paying you at a 10-star diamond rank with the additional money. So when you hit 10-star diamond, you've hit $12,000 if you're maxing out your volume. When you get to 11-star diamond, you're still at $12,000. If you're at 12-star diamond, you're still at $12,000. 13, 14, 15, still at $12,000. So why do people build to 15-star diamond? And I'm not asking you guys to answer that. I'm going to give you the answer to that. People build to 15-star diamond for a couple reasons. And Michelle, you hit it right on the head. The number one reason is recognition, okay? Recognition is the number one reason that people do that. And you guys have to ask yourself, because there's a couple ways to build your business. Are you more motivated by recognition, or are you more motivated by what I call security? Okay, when I say security, I'm talking about financial security. And there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not asking you guys to say that you're more this way, more that way. Some of you guys might be built in the middle. You like recognition, but you want that financial security. So for me personally, I'll tell you how I am, and it's worked well for me. I'm 11 years into this business, still making a very nice, comfortable income. It's allowed me to build some other businesses on the side that I'm passionate about, which we can talk about later and stuff. The financial freedom and the freedom of time, which I do want to talk about in a minute here. But I'm more driven by financial freedom and security. For me, a legacy is not about walking across stage as a fifth, and I'm not knocking. I have some wonderful friends. You know, one of my success partners, Mindy Wender, is a 15-star diamond. I'm not knocking that, but I'm not built that way. I don't necessarily need to walk across, and this is funny saying that, somebody that's gotten a few awards from this company and been across the stage, but the proudest moments that I have is when I'm sitting in the crowd at Summit watching my coaches go across the stage. That's what I get a kick off of. So for me, being a 15-star diamond was never a goal for me. I asked Jason, how do I make the most money and help people? And Jason says, you build multiple centers to 5-star diamond or higher, okay? Because if you concentrate on one business center and get that to 15-star diamond, you've just given Beachbody 5 free diamonds, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You're not getting any additional money for them, so why do people do it? They do it for recognition, and they do it hoping that they're able to stay at 15-star diamond and get that quarterly bonus. Now, guys, a quarterly bonus has shrunk so much over the years. When I first became a coach, the first 15-star diamond, there was actually 2 of them. And I don't know if, you know, Patrick, Peter, or any of you guys remember this, but my very first summit was in 2009 or 2010. It was in, I think it was like 600 people. Okay. We were in Beverly Hills at a Marriott in a small conference room. Imagine what we fill now for Celebration. We're in a small conference room, and Yolanda Harris, who's not even in the network anymore, and Christine Dwyer were the first 2 15-star diamonds. They held up a check for like $150,000 as their 15-star bonus. Anybody kind of have an idea what the last 15-star bonus was? It's about a 1/5 of that, okay? Maybe even a 1/6 of that. There's so many 15-star bonus that pool has shrunk so much. So would people now have been better off to build another business center, 5-star diamond or higher, and take those free diamonds from Beachbody and now be able to maximize your income somewhere else? Absolutely. And that's what I do. You know, I have 4 of mine and 1 of my wife's business centers at anywhere from 2 to 5 to 7-star diamond. And I'm building in multiple business centers. That means every single Thursday when we get paid in the morning, right? Every single Thursday when we get paid, I have 5 direct deposits that are very nice, okay? Because I have built that way over the last 10 years. That is what you guys want. That is financial freedom. That is why you need to read the comp plan. You know, you build 1 center to 2-star, the very next thing you do, the very freaking next day after you get to 2 stars, you put your next center in. You build it. Because if you drop back, you don't get to open that until you get back to 2-star. Open it up right away. Who cares if it's an extra $15 a month you got to pay? You get free club or free everything in those previous centers as far as your club fee or Beachbody On Demand and everything. So why not pay $15 a month and build that one up to diamond and higher into 2-star? You know, anybody know by a show of hands how many business centers you're allowed to open? It's in the comp plan. Yep, 25. I saw the hand, the girl in the gray shirt. That is it. You're allowed to build up to 25 business centers. Nobody's close to that yet. I think the most is somewhere around 7 or 8 business centers. You know, at some point it might become too much, but you know what? I'm going to find out if it's too much. I'm going to build multiple business centers to 2, 5, 7-star diamond. Anybody know what the sweet spot is? You know, most people say, oh, 10-star diamond has got to be the sweet spot because that's where we cap out. But do you know, where the actual sweet spot is? Patrick hit it right in the head again. 9-star diamond. Why is 9-star diamond the sweet spot? Why is it the sweet spot? Why wouldn't you want to build to 10 and maximize at $12,000? Well, that's the ultimate spot. That's the optimal one. But do you know how hard that is to do? In order to build to 10-star diamond, you have to have 5 diamonds on each leg. Now, if you're really good at motivating those 5 people on each leg, you should be able to do it. But how many of you guys have signed coaches? This is where you raise your hand. How many of you guys have signed coaches who said that they were going to be your best coach, they were going to be awesome, and they did nothing? Okay? That's why it's hard to build to 5-star. And how many of you guys have signed coaches who was a discount coach and said, I'm not sure what I want to do this business, and end up becoming one of your best coaches? That is why you just don't know where these diamonds are going to pop. You work with everybody. You're a coach. You sign them up. It's your responsibility to help them build. But you just never know. 9-star diamond is a sweet spot because the comp plan allows you to be a 9-star diamond coach, still making a comfortable $11,000. How many of you guys would love to make $11,000 in a week, right? So 9-star diamond still allows you to make $11,000, and you don't have to be balanced. You can have 2 on one leg and 7 on the other. You don't have to worry about that balance. So we teach our coaches on our team that the sweet spot is 9-star diamond coach. You don't have to worry about the balance so much. You're still making $11,000 and building other business centers to do the same thing. If you can get to 10-star, awesome. Who wouldn't want to make an extra 1,000 with the volume? So that's a little bit about rank. That's a little bit about what you're allowed to make. Now let's talk about volume and how it is so closely related. Rank and volume are like salt and pepper, okay? Rank and volume are like nachos and cheese. Beer and peanuts, they go together. You have to make sure you're looking at both of those every single week. Your ultimate goal as a coach is to build a balanced business center, 1 diamond on each leg, and then get to 2-star, where you're 2-star diamond, and then try to build a 5-star where you have 2 on one leg, 3 on the other, or 3 on this leg and 2 on the other. You want to closely match that. But at the same time you're doing that, you're looking to see where your volume is. Don't put all your stars in one business center if you don't have the volume for it. Take that one new coach coming in, and maybe you're trying to get to 7, 8, 9-star, but if you don't have the volume for it quite yet, you want to look at maybe your little baby center that you opened up when you went to 2-star, and maybe put somebody over there where you can maximize your volume. Does that all make sense to you guys? Rank and volume are so closely related. You have to constantly have a set of eyes to look at all your business center and say, where does it make most sense to put this next rock star coach, to put this next inspiring transformation story that wants to be a coach? You should always be looking at your business centers. It's that important. Your business centers are your direct deposits every single week. And if you know that's your checks every single week, you want to make sure you understand rank and volume very closely. Now, Beachbody's comp plan is very simple. It's changed a couple times since I started. So that's, I'm dating myself. When I first became a coach, a cycle bonus was $24 for a diamond coach, but you had to have 250 volume points on the strong leg versus the 200 you have now. Now it's balanced at a point where once you hit 100 volume points on one leg and 200 volume points on another leg, or in layman's terms, you sell a Shakeology on one leg and 2 Shakeologies on the other, give or take a few points there. That allows you to make a $14 cycle bonus as an emerald, a $16 cycle bonus as a ruby, and an $18 cycle bonus as a diamond. Okay? So that's volume simplified. 100 and a 200. Left leg, 100, right leg is 200, or vice versa. You've just made yourself a cycle bonus. Basically, a reward money for working with your coaches. That's why I love this business. We're never going to be accused, if we're doing things right, of just signing coaches and making money. You can't do that. If you want to make money, every coach that you sign, you have to help them build their business. What a novel concept, right? Beachbody actually expects us to help the people that we sign. We should be doing that. So if you're going to do that, understand how the best way is to place your coaches, and then look at that. Look at it very closely. The very simplified version, and to give you guys some exciting things to look at. I'm getting my little calculator out right here. Let's say in a couple years' time, this is very common for a 2-star diamond or higher. It's very common for you guys when you're building your business on any given week to have somewhere around 10,000 volume points on your strong leg and 5,000 on your weak. So if you do simple math, and this is the thing where it gets exciting, numbers aren't always sexy. The talk that Jason and I give isn't always sexy, but how many people agree making money is sexy? So that is why you guys really need to understand this. So if you have a good, I agree, Olivia, it is the sexiest. So if you have a good week and you have 10,000 volume points on your strong leg and you have 5,000 in the other, you take that strong leg, 10,000, and you divide it by 200, which is where a cycle bonus happens every single week. That means you just cycled 50 times and you're a diamond coach at $18. 50 times 18. You just made $900 that week. $900 for basically helping your coaches. And that is what we call residual income. That is where this business gets exciting. You know, when you first start this business, the primary part of your income comes from sales, from the challenge packs you sell, from the Beachbody on-demand memberships, from the Shakeology sales. But over the time, that teeter-totter flips from the heaviest part being sales to the heaviest part being your cycle bonuses. That is where this business gets really, really exciting. So now fast forward to a mature business like mine or Jason, where we see somewhere around 500,000 volume points every single week on our strong leg. You take 500,000 and you divide that by 200, which is 2,500. And you times that by 2,500 and you times that by 18. My phone works. You're looking at about $45,000 that you could potentially make in a week. We are capped out. We can't make that, right? That's where sometimes the volume can go crazy. And I'm sure Patrick and Peter and Andrea and all you guys have seen who have been in this business a while that you just know going into any given week that you don't necessarily have the rank or the ability to make the amount of money that you have on those legs. And that sometimes where carryover volume can make you sick to your stomach. However, guys, you can't control everything. What you can control early on is making sure that you're building balanced business centers. You want multiple business centers to be 2-star diamond or higher, trying to get to 5-star or higher with the sweet spot being 9. The best way you can look at it is build every business center you got to 2-star diamond or higher so you can open another one. But then try to take every business center and go to 5-star diamond or higher with 9 being your ultimate sweet spot. And then watch what happens over 5 or 6 years of helping all your coaches, repeating and doing this over and over again, helping your coaches what builds your volume. So helping your coaches builds your volume, signing the coaches and distribute them in the right way is what helps your rank. All makes sense, everybody? So that is why volume and rank is so important, like salt and pepper. That is why reading the comp plan and understanding volume and rank and the carryover volume and cycle bonuses and knowing all this is so important. If you're just signing coaches and just putting them in random spots, stop. Ask your upline. Ask anybody who is in your upline. If you can't find somebody, send me a message and we will help you. You want to sign and put people in the optimal spot because Beachbody, after I think it's 5 days now, right, Peter? I think it's 5 days. They're hard coded. You cannot move them anymore. You know, it used to be 48 hours when I first came in this business, but it's now 5 days. So you do have a 5-day moratorium if you want to move a coach. You know, hopefully you guys knew that. If you didn't, you're writing it down in big letters. If you sign a coach, you can move them within 5 days to a different business center or a different leg of your business center. But it's very important that you guys understand that. Guys, you know, I really want to start taking some questions. I could talk for 2 hours. Really, I could. But until I can actually get some questions from you guys and see that you're understanding this, you know, I don't want to confuse anybody because, like I said, volume and rank and the numbers part of it is not necessarily the sexiest topic. However, understanding the comp plan and making money becomes very much so. But I want to take some questions and make sure that you guys are understanding it. I mean, believe it or not, I've already been talking for close to 30 minutes. And, you know, I could talk another 2 hours. I really could. But I want to make sure we're taking some questions. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to turn it back over so we can start taking questions and getting answers to that. And then I kind of want to close out and talking about where all this leads to. This is one of the things I spoke at. I'm not sure if Peter or Patrick, you guys were there at the Men's Leadership in Dallas. I want to talk a little bit about financial freedom and where this leads to. And the best freedom of all is what I call freedom of time. So you guys have any questions at all?
If you have a question, you can unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat.
Got to be some. It always starts out a little bit slow, but.
Hey, Jeff, I have a question.
There you go.
So when you recruit, do you lead with the business opportunity or do you lead with the products first? And if you lead with the business opportunity, how do you explain the business opportunity to potential prospects?
Yep. So I will answer that, Joe, by saying it's evolved and changed over time because our business model has changed over time. When I first became a coach, I held a lot of business opportunity meetings for a lot of my challengers and challenge groups. I was also naive enough to think that putting this out to the public for people that didn't come through our culture would be interested in the business opportunity. And I was also, unfortunately, right. And what I mean by that is if we don't have people go through our programs and our products first, and you're talking to them about being a coach opportunity, chances are they're probably not going to be a very good coach or last very long. I learned that the hard way. I lost quite a few coaches who just signed up because they saw what I was doing. They wanted to become coaches and make money, and they never done a P90X program, never done a Shakeology drink. They were already fitness professionals in other areas, and so it didn't stick. So to answer your question, Joe, I really only pitch the business opportunity now to my challengers, to my customers, to people that I'm helping, because I want anybody to become a coach to have come through this culture, you know. And business opportunities for me are a little bit different than they were when I first became a coach. When I first became a coach, I used to use, you know, Net Meeting, remember that thing, Net Meeting, or free screen sharing. I done a lot of business opportunities, and it worked really wonderful. It doesn't work so well these days because everybody is now wanting to do 3-day groups on Facebook, or maybe talk to you through Instagram, or the new one that still scares me, I'm trying to adapt to, Snapchat. But nowadays, I recruit more through Instagram and Instagram shout-outs. You know, that's a whole nother conversation. Instagram shout-outs is taking other people's websites, not websites, but other people's Instagram pages with 1 million, 2 million followers, leveraging all their people and placing your ad on their page. You know, it's nothing more than a shout-out for your business on their page, which stays up for 2 to 6 hours. You'll get a number of emails, number of people interested in what you said, and then you recruit that way through a 3-day group. That's how I recruit these days. But to answer your first question, do I lead with a business opportunity? Yes, I do if it's a customer or a challenger. If it's not, I always lead with our fitness first. So Joe, take yourself off of mute for a second and let me know if that actually answers your question.
It definitely does. Yep.
Awesome. And if we want to do a future call, and I'm sure maybe you guys are already doing it on shout outs, that's cool, but it's a whole different call on how I recruit, if that makes sense.
I'd actually love to hear that.
Yep. All right. Any more questions?
We have a bunch in the chat. Could you see that?
I can. So where's the first one? All right. Olivia, you're going to read the comp plan. Awesome. Jane, you can be as sexy as you want to be if you get to Emerald and higher. So that's awesome. Getting to Emerald is simple. You sign 2 coaches. You want a good video on how to get to Emerald. Watch Jason's Emerald cost analysis. Jason Diebold, right at his website. I think it's cost analysis, jasondiebold.costanalysis.com or something. If you message me later, I'll give you the link to it. But getting to Emerald is, and I don't mean this in a facetious way, if you're doing it the way that Jason and I teach it, you should be Emerald in your second day as a coach. You know, I signed up on April 15th, and I think I was a Emerald coach on April 16th at night because I'd done what Jason said. I signed up my wife, who you should always sign up your spouse right away. It's the smartest thing to do, to have one of your people as your top legs, especially your wife, who you can control. And then to have the other person be someone you're already talking to, a family member, a brother, sister, a good friend. Getting to Emerald should be very easily in the first week. I'd be willing to bet you that Patrick or Peter or any of your leaders on your team got to Emerald very quickly, because you do it with a spouse. So it should be pretty simple. If you can't find that video, guys, let me know and I'll send the link. But Jason done a great video on cost analysis and how to get to Emerald. Next question is, how do you know where to put people properly to accomplish what you're saying? So in the very start, when you don't have a weak and a strong leg, and we never really talked about this, weak and strong legs are what, unfortunately, us coaches who are really building a big business have to classify our legs at, okay? Weakened leg is nothing more than a fancy version of saying my right leg has got a lot more volume than my left, so my right leg is my weak or my strong leg, and my weak leg is my weak, the one that's not making as much. Unfortunately, we have to sometimes classify the people that we are signing as coaches as, are they going to be a weak coach or strong? Guys, don't feel bad about doing that. It's just part of our business. It all comes from your discussion and how you feel about them. Even though you're going to be wrong half the time, you have to put people who you anticipate are going to be good coaches on one leg and coaches that you think are just going to be here for the discount and not build on another leg. but how do you know where to put your coaches is a question. So for me, I put weak prospects on my strong and strong prospects on my weak. Does that make sense? Why I say that? The reason I do that is because my weak leg is the one that I want to build up. I want to get it higher. The ultimate goal in this is not to have, 2/3 volume on one and 1/3 volume on the other to have that 200-100 balance. The ultimate goal is to have two even legs that fight every single week over who's dominant. If you can build that situation in your business, you have maximized the volume riddle of our comp plan. Because why is it so beneficial to balance your legs left and right? Because what you don't want to do is have one leg that constantly beats out the other leg and this is something you guys are going to learn in your studies of the comp plan. You're going to build up a massive amount of carryover volume. And I bet you Peter and Patrick and Andrew, all you guys basically can say, yeah, carryover volume sucks, especially when you can never cash it out. Because what happens to carryover volume after so many cycles? It's a flushing a toilet sound. It's gone. Those are thousands of dollars and thousands of man hours that you've worked to build up this volume every single week that you're not realizing that's flushed away forever. I have to be at peace with my flushing that's happened multiple times over the years. I probably have flushed away a couple $1 million over the last 10 years, but it is what it is. I have in my primary business center where most of my earnings happen, I have a very unbalanced business. And it's a good problem to have. One of my legs is Jason Diebold and his 3 or 4 centers that came after me. And then everybody else that I kind of worked on my weak leg. So it's very hard for me to get those to ever balance, but your ultimate goal is to balance them. So to answer your question, how do you know where to probably put them? You look at your legs and every single Wednesday is the best day to look at them, the last night of your week, and say, okay, my right leg has a lot more volume than my left consistently every single week. This person I'm talking to is going to be a rock star, so I want to put them on the leg that's making the least amount of volume. Make sense? You want strong prospects to help build up your weak leg. And then maybe the coach that comes to you and says, I'm not going to do nothing with this business. I live my corporate job. I love what I do as a nurse. I just want the freaking discount. Those are types of coaches that I put on my strong leg because I don't expect them to ever build a business. But I have been wrong. So I hope that answers your question. Agree with you, Peter. You got to fall in love with the products first. That's how you build people who are here for a long time. Getting people to Summit definitely is possible. Okay, so Jenny says, if you have a balanced business center, even volume because no strong or weak leg, which is what we just talked about, you sign family under the same leg or one member on each side. If you have both people, you put one on each side if you have a balanced leg. Why not have 2 people you can control to help keep it even? Not to get to Emerald, but to build eventually. So I hope that answers your question. And my last answer answered that question, Jenny. Comment below if my last answer about fighting evenly is what you want. But you would sign both if you had 2 family members, one on each side. And preferably the higher in your business, you want the higher, you want the higher positions in your business to be your family members. That's just what you want to do. My daughter, my wife, my dad, my mom, all have high positions in my business because I was told early on to sign as many family members and build those business centers, and I did. So I have massive carryover volume. Yeah, I feel you, Peter. I'm in the same boat, and it sucks. And I've seen that thing flush multiple times. It sucks, but it's a good problem to have, I guess, from being around as long as we have. But what you ultimately want to do, guys, as newer coaches, is to build a balanced center that fights every single week who's supreme, so your carryover volume doesn't build up. Carryover volume is wonderful in concept. Think of it as like stock options that you might be able to cash in the future. And if you can build a balanced legs, but if you never build a balanced leg or the stock price never gets high enough as a reference, it's going to flush. And that's what it's done for me multiple times over the years. So I don't see any other questions in the chat. Are there any other verbal questions before we kind of wrap up with my financial freedom take in it? No?
More
All
questions?
right. So let's tie this up with a bow. Where does everything lead? How many of you guys are still working your corporate day jobs? How many of you guys love what you do? It's okay. If you love what you do, you're right where you should be. Okay, you're right where you should be. Build this business as a nice side second income, but you're right where you should be. You know, one of the things that I've always taught my coaches and we teach, you should never pressure or convince somebody to build this business to quit your day job if they love what they do. That is cowardly and that's BS. If you love what you do, continue to love what you do. Who are any of us to tell you not to do that? But there are some people who want to do this full time because unfortunately they don't like their jobs. And that's okay too. Any combination of that is what we want. However, what is universal between the people that love your job and don't love your job? It's very, very smart to have multiple streams of income, which is why I have taken this Beachbody Blessing and built 2 other businesses on the side. You know, most people that know me know that I'm a huge Disney fan, huge Disney lover. We've taken many trips to Disney. We go to Ventures by Disney. We're everywhere. I built a Disney travel agency on the side. I do that on the side because I love helping people experience the House of Mouse. That was a blessing from this business. Multiple streams of income. So if you love your job, build this for that second stream of income. Take your side hustle and make that a great second stream of income. So where does all this lead? Where this leads to is the freedom of choice to be able to pick if you want to stay at your job or not. If you get to that point where you're making and replacing your day income, you have the freedom of choice. Choice is the most wonderful and powerful thing about this. It's not the financial freedom. It's not all the money, okay? It's the power of choice to live how you want, to not give a freaking second rat's ass care about what other people think about what you should do and not do in your life. Me personally, I have 2 or 3 people that opinions really matter to me about what I do with my wife. And most of those people live right in this house. I don't care what other people think of me. You know how many people told me that what you're doing is never going to amount to anything? And those are the same people who are now some of my coaches in my business after they've seen what happens over this. Don't listen to other people. Know what you want. Know that what we do is so whole and wonderful, helping people get healthy and fit, and then helping them get financially fit after. What is wrong with a network marketing business? If you're icky, you're icky. We're not icky. If you're doing things right, you care about people's goals more than you care about your own. And when you care more about other people's goals, guess what happens? Your goals get accomplished. They get realized. So what you have to freaking do is you have to understand that this leads to the freedom of choice. So get the word financial freedom over your head and think about freedom of choice. That's more powerful. That's a stronger why than just money. Money would drive you nuts over time. It's not all wonderful. Yes, you need it to do things, but the freedom of choice is what has allowed me over the last 10 years to take a 6-figure income that I used to make with AT&T and leave that behind and make a 5 or 6-figure income in 1 year and have the power of choice to work when I want to be able to call this type of activity work, to be able to start my side business, helping people with Disney, to be able to coach my son's soccer team, to be able to coach my son's track team, to be able to do what the hell I want when I want and travel when I want. You know, financial freedom for me was never buying a big house. We renovated our house that we're in right now. Financial freedom for me was never buying a sports car and multiple sports cars. I'm not knocking on the people that do that. Financial freedom for me was traveling the world. It was seeing other cultures. It was doing other things. It was actually being able to give my children the benefit of seeing how other cultures live. You know, over the last 5 years, we've been to China, we've been to Japan, we've been to Italy, we've been to France, we've been to England. We've been all over the world because of this company. That's allowed us to do that and enrich our lives. Traveling is the only thing that you can do and spend money on where you're richer in the end. So that's freedom of choice. This business, understanding rank and volume, sitting through multiple sit-down sessions and reading the comp plan leads to a better, more informed coach that will help you in time maximize your business and now have the freedom of choice. You know, sitting across from our banker a few years ago and paying off our house, that was more freedom of choice that came from this business. Guys, write down goals, accomplish them, cross them off one at a time, and write more goals. You know, freedom of choice is what this leads to. So change your mentality from financial freedom to freedom of choice, freedom of time. You know, there's something very powerful about, and it sounds very normal and cheesy, but for me, one of the highlights of being a full-time Beachbody coach and controlling what I do in my day was, I don't get to do this anymore because both my kids drive, but a few years ago was being able to pick them up from school. Pick them up. How's it going? How was your day? Going to get a Slurpee right after school. That's the good shit in life. That is the good stuff. So that's what you guys want, is financial freedom, but shifted to freedom of choice. And how do you get there? You understand the freaking comp plan and how you're paid. You maximize it. You help your coaches over and over, and you rinse and repeat. So we were not put on, and this was my closing statement every single time. We were not put on this earth, okay, to work 40 or more hours a week, okay, to retire in 40 or more years and live on 40% pension of what you were making. We weren't meant to do that. Do not live the 40-40-40 plan, okay? We just weren't put on this earth to do that. We were put on this earth to live, to enjoy life, to maximize it, And the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to turn it back over to you guys to end the call. I want you guys to find a poem on the internet and read it. It's called The Dash, okay? It's something that I speak on. It's very, very dear to my heart. It's called The Dash, and it's about an individual who wrote a poem about the dash on your tombstone. How many of you guys, everybody has, because it's life, but you guys go to a funeral, you're sitting at the cemetery, and you're looking at that headstone, and you look how beautiful it is. You look at the carving in it, the symbols. You look at their name, and you look at the year they were born, and you look at the year that they died. But nobody ever notices the most important part of that tombstone, and that's what this poem is about. It's the dash in the middle. The dash in the middle represents what? It represents your life. It represents your life. Your life is the most important part on that tombstone, and that is the dash between your born year and your die year. So what are you guys going to do with your life? Are you going to sit there and do the 40-40-40 plan? Or are you going to hit your freaking goals and live life on your terms? Me personally, when my time has come, and I'm standing at the gates to heaven, I'm looking at St. Peter, I want to be dirty and bloodied and my clothes ripped, and I want to just be exhausted and out of breath. And I want Peter to ask me, what the hell happened to you? And I want to say that I lived. That I'd done everything I wanted to do in life, and I didn't hold anything back. So, guys, that is what I have to say, and I really hope that you guys take this and go for it. The opportunity.
Hey, Annie,
Yeah.
can I just say one thing?
Yeah. Go for it.
Being a guy older than Jeff, I remember way back in 2012, Jeff, at Summit, and I was a pretty new coach, and you were already a rock star, and I'm an old dude, and I remember going up to you at a party, and I said, everybody was getting crazy in this party, and I said to you, what was one tip? You probably don't remember this, but I said, what is one tip you would give a coach? And you, without even hesitation, you said, help your coaches and your customers meet their goals. And I just remember that as the one tip. I mean, help the people that want to be helped. You recruit and you sell challenge packs, and you do all these things, but if you help those coaches that want to help, and you help those customers that want to help, you're going to keep those people.
Yep.
So, that's one tip that I just remember way back. Anyways, great call.
Yeah, Peter, I do remember. I don't remember the year because my mind is bad too. But I do remember talking at a Summit. It's different now because there's so many new faces and rock stars coming up. But I remember going to Summit, and I do get stopped, and I talk to a lot of people. Always be, as you guys build your business, as you guys get to become bigger with this business, never forget where you came from. Because Peter, what you just said, really hits a nerve with me. Is that I don't ever want to be accused of somebody who didn't want to talk at Summit or anything, because we're all coaches. Everybody's there to learn. Always impose any of your knowledge to somebody else, because everybody deserves to be able to have the information to build a big business. Here I am 11 years later, and I still look at myself just as doing the same things over and over again, helping people, like you said, hit their goals, helping people I just do that That's the simplified version of what we should do as coaches. Help your customers hit their goals and help your coaches hit their goals. If you do that over and over again, man, who cares if you're a 15-star diamond coach or an emerald coach? You've accomplished what you're supposed to do as a coach.
Exactly.
Awesome. Joanne, oh my gosh, you went to my Super Saturday in 2014. That must have been Frankenmuth, right? Or were we up in Traverse City? It's one of the two places. We'll wait for her to answer. But anyways, guys, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Frankenmuth, yep. I was just there last Friday.
That was an amazing call. Thank you so much, Jeff. I definitely am going to look up that poem because what you just said about that, just that small dash is like, that's everything in life, you know? So everybody go look up the comp plan. I really appreciate this. If you guys have any questions after, let us know. But thank you so much. So we have a special way of saying thank you on our team call. Hold on one second. Here we go. All right, guys. On the count of three, on mute. There you go. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Boom! Thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys have a great night. I will post the recording. And are you going to Summit, Jeff?
Yes, I will be there.
Yeah, all right. So we'll see you there. Bye, guys.
All right, see you guys. Take care.
It's amazing. Bye, guys. Thank you.